They see that orange and blue. We have it in orange and blue because Collingdale, where we both grew up, that was our colors. The Collingdale Bulldogs, yeah. So orange and blue.
Like an orange and blue. It's
different.
It's
Collingdale.
Yeah.
It's like what, Syracuse? Too?
Yes, yeah, Syracuse. Yeah, Syracuse is orange and white.
Delco's Drexel was Clifton's orange and black.
Oh, hell yeah, they are. The running Rams.
Rams.
Yeah. My uncle was like a legendary coach. Springfield
stupid.
were the Cougars, right?
Cougars
are the Cougars.
The blue and gold.
Yeah, blue and gold.
O'Hara's blue and red.
Is that what you got? Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids will be Cougars.
Yeah, Cougars.
Nice field there and everything. Nice.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys are paying like the taxes. I heard in Springfield. You guys.
Yeah. Now that it's
really,
they're not insane.
What are the schools now? Are literally called like Springfield Academy or something. It's like, and then it's like the Learning Center.
There's a few.
Yeah.
So it's not just like you get shipped off to school. From
it's not
first
Springfield
through
High
grade,
School anymore.
Right?
It's like the Academy of Springfield. You're like, all right.
I believe it's Springfield
Everybody's
High School.
competing.
It's Springfield High School, I believe. But like,
I'm gonna take
my
a sip,
son
I
goes
think.
to kindergarten and first
Cheers.
grade.
Cheers. Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Yes, how are you?
Nice to see you again.
Our guest.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling. I've been on ecstasy for an hour.
Guys, we're excited to have our friend Peggy O'Leary in the house. Woo. Hit that applause, Tom. Hit the applause. It's automatic.
Oh, that was so loud. Thank you. That was a beautiful.
I had the pleasure of working with Peggy as part of Pat House's 3 shows, his annual show that he does at Paxson Hollow.
But this was his special this time, which was awesome.
Yeah.
This was a week or two ago? Or month?
It was a month ago.
Okay.
And it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
It was fun.
And I had all the speakers set up. I said, not only was I playing music, I was running sound as well. And I'm not a sound engineer.
I know. I did feel, and I did have to pull a real prima donna moment at one point. I was
nice.
like,
I want to hear that.
On stage, mid-set. Something's wrong with the sound. Is there something wrong with it? And it was warranted, but I'm glad we're talking about this.
Well, no, because here's my thing. Listen, there's 2 things about me. Is like, people are like, there's so many times people see me or meet me, they're like, how are you not, like, you have like all these famous friends or you do this. You're like, why are you not more successful? I'm like, because of moments like that. I just pull out Delco moment where I'm like, I think it sounds weird only because I will then be bad. Like I learned it early on in comedy.
That's fair.
That if I let it go, I'll re-listen and I'll be like, oh, I remember why I told that joke wrong. It's because the whole time I was like, there's an echo. Also, I think about it from an audience perspective. Like, wouldn't you want the sound to be right?
Yeah.
And I knew you weren't doing it on purpose. It was like we didn't do a sound check. It was like
so you're kind of rolling.
So was I a see you next Tuesday and you hate me?
No, we squashed that right away.
Yeah.
But before you opened your mouth, the entire weekend, I'm going, please, hopefully no one says it sucks. No one says it, and I'm listening. It sounds fine to me. I'm not saying you were wrong. But the whole time I'm like, fuck, I hope something goes wrong. I hope nothing goes wrong, just in case.
Right.
And then she was aggressive with you, and you guys were face to face, and everything got squashed.
No, because it was Thursday. It was the first day, right?
No, it was one of the days. It was one of the major.
It was Friday
or Saturday.
Yeah, you know what you want.
It might have been Saturday.
You're assertive. You're aggressive. You know what you want.
It was Friday. It was not Saturday.
All right. Well, I've already learned not to argue with you. So whatever you say, miss.
See, this is what's not. See, this is what I mean. Well, I don't see why that's wrong. I think it's worse because to me, I'm like, I'm taking the bullet for Pat. I'm taking the, like, Tommy goes up, he's hosting, I'm going up. Like, if I can feel a weirdness, right? And, like, if you guys do it, when you've performed so long, you can feel it. Also, I performed in Delco so long. Also, we had done the show the night before or whatever. Like, I know when I want it to go a certain way, even for my friend. Like, literally, my best friend Ryan's always like, oh, the martyr of comedy, saint of comedy. She's always fallen on the sword. Like, she'll take the bullet for everybody else. And it's like, just do your set. I'm like, no, I promise. And maybe that's probably what I'm wrong.
You do
but
that.
Like,
you were assertive. And, you know, instead, that would have bothered you all night. Oh, there was a hiss or something. I don't know what it was.
I thought we made it fun. And you giggled.
Yeah.
Maybe now that I'm talking to you
jolly.
again.
Yeah, he's always high. Always high. He's always
so
high.
Maybe you fucking hated me. I don't know. Can I curse? Ooh,
Yeah. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. Burn the house down. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna start. Yeah,
that's the second time you said that. Do you want the house to? I feel like
no. I kind of just want to see HT in his element. Like he talks about this fireman shit all the time. I'm like,
fireman is an EMT.
Literally, the first time I met him, he was wearing this exact outfit, and then
that's the outfit.
And then 2 weeks later, at
that's the uniform.
He was wearing the same thing again.
That's the uniform.
That's how we know. That's how we know who it is.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see him in action.
That's how we tell him apart from Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
If he wasn't wearing his outfit, his uniform, we would be confused.
I don't want Casa HT to burn down. I love this place. It's been so good to me.
I love the little street line. I wanted to live in Prospect Park, but
his neighborhood is cute.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah.
Right?
There's a little downtown. Yeah.
And then
you're from
Springfield, and they're like, can't go on that side of McDade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baltimore Pike, there's a real line in the sand.
It's Baltimore Pike, and then, so that's what they were like, because I am on the other side of Baltimore Pike, because I live in Seacane. I bought a house in Seacane. So when I was looking at houses around here, I love it. Still do. Will say my siblings were wrong, but in their mind, they grew up Springfield, Clifton. There is a weird, nobody gets
Absolutely.
it. Lower Delco has its own hierarchy that nobody really knows about. Nobody cares about but us.
Yeah.
So it's like, literally the other day I was at a show and I said Delco and someone said Ridley Park. I go, I'm Springfield. They're like, like we knew.
It's funny you say that because my sisters, we grew up in Collingdale and my sisters are in Springfield now. And they say there's a thing, it's called New Springfield and Old Springfield.
Yes, there
and
is.
Yeah, and the Old Springfield, they kind of turn their nose up. Like, who are these people coming in from Briarcliff, Glen Olden and stuff that bought houses here in Collingdale that now are in Springfield? I think it's just hilarious. And I tell Jody, I'm like, oh, like, when are you going to break in? Like, you got to, like, after what, year 15, 20? When will you be, like, accepted by Old Springfield?
At least 10.
10?
I deal with it, too. It doesn't throw me off. But like I coach like my son's baseball, basketball, like whatever, because they don't have coaches. Not that I'm the best guy for the job.
You
they just
like
don't have coaches.
That's wild that they don't have coaches. All those,
believe it or not.
Yeah, I would think like in Collingdale they don't have coaches, but in Springfield they don't. They're all good dads.
Not like me, I guess.
No, you're the best actually.
But I do see the like the click type groups, like all, and you know that they're lifers.
Yeah.
A good example of that is O'Connell's Bar and Saxers.
Yeah.
Saxers and O'Connell's there's two storefronts in between them, one or two, and one of them is a travel agency. I don't mean to shit on travel agents, but like there is the thing called the internet now. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't
with
think
the internet,
it's
I don't get
shitting.
it.
I think it's. I actually think it's like one of those things where like, is it there for a landmark reason? Like
they're like snake charmers and shit.
It
seems to be a functional business.
We cannot. No, it is.
It's like how a payphone pops up every once in a while. It's like they can't get rid of it. It's like, what is this unicorn?
But
in Clifton Heights.
What illustrates the old and the new Springfield, I think, O'Connell's is definitely an old Springfield bar. I've went in there a couple times, and everyone just turns and looks. But it's not like Tony's Bar, where they're just grizzled dudes, like choking down liquor and cigarettes.
Yeah.
They're like polo shirt dudes.
Oh, so you don't even know the old school, like when it was Dukes.
Dukes, yeah, Dukes.
I do remember Dukes, but I can't go in there. I've lived in Springfield for 7 or 8 years.
You
I
can
do
obviously. Also, shout out to O'Connell's because he definitely wants you to go in.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
But no, here's the thing, Duke. So Jackie Duke, and so also the bungalow, which is old Clifton fucking royalty.
Owned by the absolutely.
Hit a few triples there.
Yeah, you did.
Like Frankie Dodona owned that, but it was the same family. Like Jackie and Frankie were together, whatever. So it is funny to me because I'm like, oh yeah, like O'Connell's, Dukes, that's old school, like bungalow, old school. Like
Bungalow's very old
it's
school.
very funny to me where it's like the new school, old school, because where I'm from, like, because Holy Cross, we do have this sort of like pride of like, we are the border of Clifton.
You're the border, yeah.
We're Springfield and Clifton.
Holy Cross, you get both. You get the
both.
Westbrook Park, Clifton, and
like,
Springfield.
we don't like upper Springfield.
Yeah, sure.
Like you guys, Sable, don't even talk to me
don't
about
even-
Sable. Don't even
So you guys are the ones
that middle school.
That's funny because you guys are the ones that have a chip on your shoulder.
Kevin's and St. Francis people to me were so fancy, but now that like nobody has St. Kevin's and everybody goes to St. Francis, it's very funny because my friends who are all Holy Cross girls are like, my kids go to St. Francis now. I'm like, well, I will never.
Yeah, I will never go to a birthday party. I will never support your son.
My sister has a kid at St. Anne, 3 kids at St. Annie's. We like
Newtown Square.
Like, no, St. Annie's, never. Like if my kid went to St. Dot's, my family would probably like excommunicate me. It is a funny.
The territorial shit is
the
so
territorial
funny.
that nobody cares about.
No one cares. Going to Bonner, at Bonner, there was like a whole trolley. Like they had, like a lot of us took the trolley into school, but it really was. It was Baltimore Pike was the cutoff line, and people from Havertown and Drexel Hill looked at everything on the other side, the southern side of Baltimore Pike, I guess. Collingdale, Glen Old, and Falkirk is like another thing.
Seacane.
Yeah, Seacane. You weren't allowed like to go down there. I had a buddy in high school that slept over one night, and his brother went to pick him up the next day, and he couldn't find how. When he got out of there, he's like, get in the car. We're never coming back here again. And like sped off to Havertown. I'm like, fuck you, loser.
I remember going to Bonner. It was, from our perspective, it was Collingdale, and then it was Drexel Hill. Everything else.
Everything was Drexel Hill, yeah.
Not Briarcliff. Did Briarcliff people go to?
Yeah,
it was split.
And it was all
Briarcliff was split between Bonner and O'Hara. Half of Briarcliff were Fatima and went to O'Hara.
It's interesting to anyone but us.
Yes, believe it or not, it is.
It sets up. It's going to set up the, and then half Briarcliff went to St. Joe's. So yes, that's where the split is, the demarcation, if you will.
Wait, so you were St. Joe. Oh,
St. Joe's, Collingdale. Yeah.
I think you meant St. James because I'm like that closed down when my sister was.
Well, those people are all kind of lumped into like the St. Joe's, Collingdale, like that side of Baltimore Pike, because like you just said about how we all thought that everything was Drexel Hill. They told me that everything down there was just Collingdale, like Falkirk. Yeah, so I was very proud of that.
Yeah, that's a lot to be proud of. That we took the reins.
We took the reins, yeah.
Because when you're driving around down in that area, it's like every 10 blocks, it's a different borough, and if you're not from there, it's so confusing.
So my boyfriend is not from here at all, right? Grew up in Maryland.
What's that like?
And California. Oh, he's a Washington fan. Like literally, it is. He's like what he loves it because he like loves my family and he loves this little neighborhood. But he also was a home inspector for a bank, so he's like, do you know 2 blocks over it's a town called Fallcroft and then Norwood? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, this is weird. Like I do home inspections for everywhere, and this little pocket of Delco is the craziest.
Yeah.
Like because it's like 2 blocks is Norwood, the other block is this. Like nobody knows what. But my dad, when I bought in Seacane, loved it because he worked for, shout out, Firehouses, the Seacane Primos Firehouse. So when I got
which is under the Upper Darby umbrella, right? Umbrella.
But they had their own thing. Like, and he used to always say, like, listen, I'm glad that we live, like, you know, I live in Springfield, but I know if the funeral home caught on fire, Seacane, Primos, Clifton Heights, Firehouse would be the first one. I'm like, yeah, because it's down the block.
Yeah.
Misty-eyed.
And
those guys will be there in a heartbeat.
Those guys will be there in a heartbeat.
Unless they're drinking, and then they have to wait. They have to wait 12 hours.
Will be on the backpack. It'll take Springfield a while to come down to the lower part of Springfield.
Laugh all you want, but those men will leave everything at their homes and be there momentarily.
Did you ever get out of Delaware County, or are you a lifer? Have you been here the whole?
Oh, I left.
You got out.
It was a really great time.
Fucking A, it was. Where'd you go?
Yeah, I lived in New York and LA for 12 years. So I did 11 years in New York. So I went to college in New York, and then I did a year in LA, and I only came back Springfield to like live with my parents, you know, a couple months, go back to New York. And then they needed a secretary at the funeral home, and I worked there, and then COVID happened. And then I bought a house, and now I'm a lifer, and it's...
Yeah, you're here. You're good.
Did we talk about the funeral home since we've been rolling? Or was that just something we talked about before?
No.
So yeah, I did grow up on top of a funeral home.
Right. You're of the O'Leary fame, Delco fame, yeah.
Sorry. I don't know. It's funny people say that because, like, do you know who Nick Cupsey is? He's like
Nick Cupsey, we were engaged for years.
Oh, my God. Wait, so you do know him? Like, he's the best,
well.
right?
We used to be
the first time I ever met him, he's like, you're Peggy O'Leary. Like, of O'Leary Funeral Home? And I'm like, yeah. And it was like, I had just moved back to Philly. Like, I was like, oh, cool. Like, living in Philly and, like, hanging out. And, like, I literally slept on, like, all of the comedy guys' couch because I was living at the funeral home. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back to Delco for a $35 Uber ride. I'll just sleep here. And he was like, you're like royalty. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's just that we lived on top of a business.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we lived on top of a 7-Eleven, it'd be the same thing. Like, did you know there were 6 kids that lived up there?
Well, your family had a business where they wore suits. So that's just, to us, it was like, wow. You guys made it. Like, you know, last name rings out.
Love Nick.
We lived in the same development like 10 years ago. And it was like 3 couples of us hung out. And the first time I met Nick, I was like, I've never met someone more on cocaine in my life. holy shit. And he had a suit jacket on. He had just come from dinner with his wife, and he literally wore this shirt
Shit,
all
he had
the
a
time.
wife at one point.
Yes, he did at one point.
Oh, now he dates like a 22-year-old.
Yeah,
That's the progression.
But he had
That's the progression. Yeah.
all the couples
She's
in
hot.
that
I love
development
Amanda.
ended up similar. He had this red T-shirt on. It was Coca-Cola. It just said "Enjoy Coke," and I was like, okay, so he's like a big cokehead, and like that's kind of his ironic shirt. Like I get it, and I got comfortable real fast. And within 20 minutes, I'm like, dude, you're like rocked on Coke, right? And he's like, no, I never.
Yeah.
I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude.
I was gonna be like,
I've never seen
Some people
anyone
have
bounce
that.
off the walls like this.
Yeah.
He goes, nah, man, like not at all, ever. I go,
He's probably undiagnosed
What an enigma.
ADD. Yeah, undiagnosed ADD.
just or unmedicated.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Boy, oh boy, yeah, love.
No,
Nick
love
Copsey.
Nick. Because I'm like, you're saying all this. I'm like, is he? I don't think so. Like, I got some friends that I know do it. But no, Nick has the same vibes as me. I remember when I moved to New York. So where I grew up and like everyone I knew, like the girls I grew up with, no one did coke. No one did drugs.
Yeah.
I remember I smoked pot the first time and everyone was like,
Wow.
you know, wow.
Going down the drain.
Jesus would not appreciate this. No, they were so upset. I moved to New York, but I'm like, I'm a Delco girl. We started drinking at 12. We're just. So I go to New York. I'm living with all these artists. I'm like, this is so weird. I used to be a cheerleader and I danced in like theater.
Yeah.
And they're like, damn, where do you get your cocaine? And I'm like, huh? I'm like, wait, do people still do that? Like literally, but it's the same thing because I have very cocaine energy. Like I just love.
What year is this that you're up in
Adderall?
2000? Or
So
up in
I
New
moved to
York?
New York. So obviously I graduated 05 in May. So yeah, I moved August of 2005. And then I stayed there until I turned 30. So the summer so my birthday's November. So like 29 that summer
We'll
I
send
moved
a
to
gift.
LA.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.
HT, make a note of that, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
November 8th.
A very classy enterprise we have going here. We take care of our own.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I did not know that. Like I didn't know that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't realize. So the college I went to was a private art school, which other people, like when I tell, if you're from the New York area and I say like, oh, I went to SVA, the School of Visual Arts, they're like, oh, you came from money. I'm like, oh no, I got a scholarship. Like, no, honestly, it was the cheapest thing for my parents. They were like, what? They are paying you to go to school? Cool. But I didn't realize that school was like, kind of like very rich people sent their kids like, you want to go make film? You want to make like art? Go do it.
What was your thing? What were you at?
Film.
Film? Okay.
But I live with like art. Like I live with two girls that were fine arts and then another girl who was like film, but she did like the camera work stuff. And all four of us, like we stayed really close because I think we all came from the same thing. We all weren't from New York. We weren't from the area.
Yeah.
And we're like, we wanted to go to art school. And everybody else there was like, I don't know what I want to do. And you're like, what? I'm like, I like made 4 films in high school. Like I was stressed out. Like I really wanted to do something good.
Yeah.
Cut to, I'm a waitress and a comedian. So,
Nice. So how did you become a comedian? What's the progression from going to art school for film?
so I always wanted to be an
Dabbling in
actress.
comedy at that point, or?
So I met a bunch of guys that did sketch comedy there, and I tried out for their sketch group. And I always was like an actor-y person.
Did you do it in high school? Like
Yeah, I
the
liked
plays
the
and stuff?
shows and stuff. And I was a competitive cheerleader for 15 years. So
KCA?
Mike too.
Did you do
KCA?
KCA?
Shut the fuck up.
My sister did KCA, yeah.
Wait, what's your sister's name?
Barclay. Barclay was their last name. Jody and Megan Barclay. They did KCA
Yeah, what
with the
year would they be?
Moffats. I don't know if you remember the Moffats.
Oh
They
yeah,
did-
so they're a little older than me.
Yes,
But yeah, the
but they're
Moffats. I love
KCA
them.
with them, yeah.
So I
Shout
was
out.
a little bit younger than them, but I was this height and I was 50 pounds heavier.
So you were stunt
sixth
or no? Were you
grade.
a stunt? What do they
Oh,
call them?
I was the bass in the back.
Bass. Yeah, bass.
So
yeah.
when like the seniors would lose someone got injured, they only had me. So like there was a couple years, like my 7th and 8th grade year, all I did was I cheered on both teams. So like I was like thought I was going to be an Olympic cheerleader. I don't know what. Like I was like
Professional
doing 2 a
cheerleading, here we
days.
come.
Those competitions, man. Y'all ready for this, man? Or Rhythm is a Dancer. Rhythm is a Dancer was everybody's
Everyone.
song.
Snap.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's the
God.
name of that group.
You know, another big one was like, do you remember that? Oh fuck, it was like a.
CNC Music Factory.
Yes, that one.
That-
But also it was what is that like Bombs Over Baghdad. Outcast. Nobody in the cheerleading world knew what that song was about, but it had like that weird beat.
Yeah,
so
beat
every song, and it's funny, when I like got older and I would tell people that, they'd be like, Bombs Over Baghdad was the song of just like little white girls from Delco, like doing fucking pyramid stunts. And
Smiles.
Smiles.
With smiles.
Yeah, the best hair.
Like all that shit. Oh, so crazy. But yeah, no, yeah.
Your background's in cheerleading, and then you're doing film up there. So like...
So then I get into sketch comedy, did that for like 2 years, was really into that. And then I met a bunch of stand-up comics in that world. Like, so by the time that me and another buddy, Michael, we graduated SVA, we like changed it from being a college sketch group to like a professional group. We were like performing at UCB, which is like Upright Citizens Brigade at that time. It was like Amy Poehler's theater or whatever. So we were like doing it there. And then I was just around a lot of stand-ups. And then I started dating one, and I would be like, go to shows with him and be like, why isn't the joke this? Why isn't the joke that? And he was like, just fucking do it already, because you obviously want to. And then it sort of just
snowballed
from there. Yeah. And I think like just, I always wanted to, I mean, I was always a performer. Like,
yeah, right. You said you went to LA, so you did that there. What was the LA trip for comedy also?
Yeah. So at that point, I had lived in New York for so long that I was like, I just want to go
a trip. Yeah, you gotta
try.
Get out.
So I did like a year in LA. But I'm youngest of 6. I have 14 nieces and nephews. I didn't want to like, and I didn't have any money, so I couldn't like fly home all the time.
Right.
Like all my friends like, be bi-coastal. I'm like, sure. Just
it's not a fucking option.
So I moved home in hopes that like I'd go back to New York, and then just like.
What's the difference in the scene? LA, New York, West Coast, East Coast? Is it like Biggie and Jay-Z, like
a little bit? There is like
Tupac,
a New York,
Biggie kind of thing,
LA thing. Like for me, it was like in New York, if you weren't out doing shows 4 or 5 times a night, being seen by everyone. Like if you were just like, oh, I did a bunch of shows in this place versus this place, you would go to that other place and the people would be like, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. You're like, I was doing a lot of Brooklyn comedy. They're like, is that comedy? Like New York, everybody at that time was like so obsessed with being like, are you getting up this amount of time?
The grind.
LA, very different. I moved to LA. And again, so like if you didn't have a show in New York, you would do open mics and then you would just go watch shows to like
be seen almost.
Be seen, but also like you want to see what everyone's doing. Like it's always so bad right now when people are like, who's your favorite comic? I'm like, I don't know, because like my favorite comics for the last 15 years have been like people I'm watching on the daily basis. Obviously, I love Chris Rock. Obviously, I love Chappelle. I love all these people. But it's like, at that time, it was like, Joe List was my favorite. Nobody knew who Joe List was. Great. Mark Norman. Like, nobody knew who these guys were. But I loved them. So you moved to L.A. I moved to L.A. and I'm just doing the same thing. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll just go do open mics and then I'll go watch shows. And every time I'd walk into a show in L.A., they'd be like, oh, Peg, like, I don't know if we have room for a guest spot. And I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you're just here? And I'm like,
to support the scene? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? But it's
not even the supporting. Like, for me, it was like, you go watch it because you're like, I want to know what this scene's like or whatever. So then I ended up like getting a lot of spots because I was there, and people would be late for a spot and they'd be like, Peggy's the only other comic in the room. And I'm like, why is not everyone doing this? But it's just a different world. Because in New York, the industry, and again, this is just my perspective, but like in New York, it's like we don't have agents at every single show. You're building your act, you're building your album, you're building your special, whatever it is. It's not like, oh, if I do this really great joke, maybe an agent but in LA, it was that. Like, there are agents at every show. There are managers. There are
part of the motivation for a West Coast comic?
Where
on the East Coast, if I'm following you, the East Coast, it's more about that grind and that trench work.
100%.
Which I feel like is very just characteristic of the East Coast
in general,
In general.
Yeah.
Where it's just let me grind and let me get on stage 5 nights a week and not even give a fuck. Like, just go through my reps. Where in LA, it's more like, oh, who's here tonight?
Right.
Like, oh, this might...
Or it's like, I'm not going to, why would I come out of my house if I wasn't booked? Whereas like, I just didn't even have that in the, I still have that a little bit where I'm like, wait, we're just, I'm not going to do any comedy today. Like that to me is crazy. That's why when you texted me, you messaged me and you were like, hey, could you do the podcast? I'm like, yeah, I don't have anything going on. And I'm like, this was very weird to me to not have.
For that's love of the craft.
Listening, I reached out earlier on this afternoon.
I think, it was like 11, 12 maybe.
Yeah, and it was just, we're trying to set up some episodes for the future. And I just said, hey, look, if we have no one tonight, if you want to step up, you're like, great.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm recording my album
because you're recording your album. Yeah. What's going on with that? That's where are you doing that?
Helium. Yeah, next Wednesday. But yeah, so like that's like the comedy that I start around, and it's very different now because it's even like my boyfriend's 9 years younger than me. And
good work.
Yeah,
nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
I got a tight puss.
Cheers.
And,
all right.
Yes, she does, everybody. Yes, she does.
No, but I'm
much
saying,
more palatable for you to say than me.
He literally grew up with podcasts and comedy. Like, so like if you think about it, like we didn't have podcasts.
No.
I didn't learn about comedy perspective from a comic, like a big time comic, until I met big time comics and we actually had personal conversation. Now you can listen to a podcast and literally know what everyone's day to day is, right? So like they really come in like, I already know what the business is, and I find it hilarious because and again, and it might be the same, going back to the original thing, is where I am the kind of person I'm like, no, I'm going to let you know that the sound's not good. Like I can't not, because I'm like, no,
because you put the time in.
I put the time in, so I know what a good show feels like and not. It's a very different feeling than hearing it than doing it.
I understand. Yeah, I could totally.
Do I come clean now and say that I didn't adjust anything on the board, but just gave you the thumbs up, and then you said it was better?
Well, that's what most sound men do in general.
You didn't.
Because I did not do that. I really didn't do that.
I was gonna be like, I would have fucking stopped you.
I cut some low
because I
end.
went back into the audience.
I cut some low end
because that was
it was kind of cavernous.
Yes.
When you would hit when anyone would hit the microphone handle.
Because I know you did because I went into the audience. And
but it's funny, comics and musicians. Like it's funny how much trust we put in sound men. Like we don't have no idea what kind of training they have. We're like, oh, thank you very much. Except for you, Tom. You did put
honestly,
you're the best.
See, here's another thing. I would go, this is why, again, I have been known as a bitch, is I don't put trust. I'm like, nah, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. Like, I knew you did something because I jumped into the audience after that. And I like walking into the audience, so I know when you're working with certain speakers, like, if I do that, there's going to be some sort of whatever. I'm talking too much.
And
people listen to us all the time.
You're referencing Pat House that you did the sound and also played the opening set about a month ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, at Paxton Hollow. So like once I really started to understand the gravity of this, because we've done it before, but he's doing his special and it's sacred and it's so big, and I started to get a little bit like, oh man. Might have wanted to hire a sound company for this. Like, I'll do what I can. Yeah. I got enough firepower to rock a block party just from my different speaker configurations I might need for a gig.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like an EQ for a CD.
Something like that. Yeah. So after Saturday night's show, it was the last show of the 3 nights. If you need anything else, just reach. There's that.
Thank you.
After the Saturday night, I'm like, can I just leave this and pack it up tomorrow? He was like, no, we have to pack it up tonight. We all have. There's a party coming in tomorrow, and we need to all have our shit out of here for that. Thank you, Peggy. So I started to pack up, and there was the
was that the night that we did a bunch of car bombs too?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Because literally that was a night that Chance was like, I've seen you drunk, but that was I was like, I had 4 car bombs, and he was like, okay.
I woke up Saturday hungover, or Friday a little bit hungover. Then I woke up Saturday a lot hungover. Then
I had to work too. So
did you open both shows?
The first show Thursday,
right?
The other guy who was on it, Tommy Highland, very good comic.
Shout out Tommy Highland.
Yeah, he's great. He hosted, I featured, and then the rest of the weekend I hosted because Pat was like, I want you to be the one that brings me out. Also, I'm, again, 15 years of a cheerleading experience. I will yell at
Y'all ready for
guy. This? I will go into an audience and be like, are you not having fun? Because you're going to have a fucking fun. My buddy,
I was watching your stand-up videos, and that's what I loved about your stand-up, that you'll get right into the audience's face and be like, yo, yeah, you having fun? Make some fucking noise. Like this ain't a funeral. Yeah,
I loved Peggy. Was great those nights.
Yeah.
Like the
Not yeah, like yeah, but
Not-
yeah.
like
Not
the one,
yeah, but
the one crowd was a little bit tighter than the other crowd.
You have to yell at me a little bit. The first 9 minutes apparently just crashed on the Mac. So we're going to have this the Hoagie Time logo for the first 9 minutes.
Oh, that's fine, right?
that's all right. We're not going to beat you up in front of
Can we
anybody.
still? Are we
yeah,
still
we're
going?
Still good. Oh yeah, we're still going. But like, I just lost the video, and I'm like, what the fuck?
All right.
That's all right. Yeah,
That's
Who
fine.
cares?
I just wanted like
All right, we'll continue with the episode. We're all good.
Yeah.
So when it was unbelievable. The one crowd, the one night was a little bit tighter than the other crowd, and you were like, "Well, what the fuck?" And she hops right off stage, and there's like, it's such a great event. Like it's like a big night out for everybody, but you get like. And you get like the 60-year-old couples that are kind of like, and you get like the real like gangster looking, like dags, like, you know, sitting there, and she pops down and she's like, look at this gangster looking guy. And it could have went one way or the other. Like somebody less skilled with working with people, or talking to people, it might have gone the other way. But the guy immediately kind of laughs.
Yeah.
And she's like, and what's your name? And he's like, Tony. She's like, of course.
Yeah.
It was so good. What I was about to say. So as I'm packing up on Saturday, I get to the one speaker. So if you're on stage, it was to your right. There was a larger speaker to the right, smaller speaker over by me. So I had the little Bose S1 by me, and then there's the bigger QSC. And I, of course, my speaker stands don't have the correct. They're not as they came when I purchased them. So they're kind of rigged.
Yeah, it's a Collingdale rig. Yeah.
So instead of having like a bolt that I put through the holes, I put a big
knife.
pen.
Oh, okay.
A big
A
pen.
knife.
Yeah.
A big pen. Normally, it's great for a gig. You know, a gig is 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But I never took the speakers down in between.
Right. So
And
the
when
weight.
So it was 3 days. Oh.
When I went to take the speaker down, I was like, Pat, come here, look at this.
Ink.
Ink everywhere?
No, but the pen was bent in like a V, and a few more hours, and it would have just it
would have definitely
could have
busted.
broken it. I know.
Hilarious.
I know. It could have broken it any time. I gave him the pen. I think he still has it. He's like, I'm
No,
gonna
but
hold
see,
on.
to me, I'm like, that's what I mean by like, I can see from outsider looking in, not knowing me, not knowing where I'm from, not knowing I'm the youngest of 6 in a loud ass women family. I do seem like the worst, bitchiest Karen in the world. But I'm also like, those are the things that I love. Like, I love that in the moment I had to be like, hey, get back to your, like, I don't know what you're drinking at the bar, but go back and fix it. Let's
having a
do
Yuri
it.
lager bottle.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course you were. And like, that's what I mean by like, I'm like, that story to me is, I'd rather that story than like, Pat's like, everything went perfect. It's like, no, keep that pen, fucking frame it. That is the most Delco like community fun. Because even that, I'm like, that's why I had such like a love for that show, and that Pat like brought me in on that, because I'm like, oh no, I know these people.
Yeah, these are my people.
These people have been bullying me my whole life.
Yeah.
These people have been like the teachers I fucking hated.
Yeah.
The fucking weird dads that didn't like me because I was a loudmouth little girl.
The coach that sat you in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, no, I never really. Yeah. I mean, I was a cheerleader.
But yeah, you're right.
Anything running involved, I was like, well, I'm good.
I relate to this.
But like, that's what I mean. Like, I'm like, that story is so much better than like, Pat spent $5,000 extra on a sound guy who also, like you're saying, might have not done anything.
Right.
Whereas like, I feel like everybody I know who grew up around here, we have like that little engine that could energy.
Yeah, there's an edge.
You're like, we
yeah.
can do it.
Yeah.
That guy can do it for 1,000. We'll do it for 500. We got this. Like,
Yes.
I'd rather the pen story.
Let's not get a sound company. My buddy Hef Dog, who's already playing music ahead of it, he'll do it for free. I'll kick him some extra money, and he did. Shut up, Pat House.
I know, Pat
But
House.
he's not going to ask me
fucking-
for anything extra.
No.
But it was great, man. You
Yeah.
got to come out. Like,
Yeah,
it's such.
yeah.
It matters. Like
Yeah.
I said that to Pat after the shows last year and again this year. I was like, it just feels good to be a part of something that really feels like it matters, and that isn't just like another happy hour gig at a bar.
Right.
For all my bar peeps listening, hey, keep booking me. I love them.
Yes.
I'm not saying I don't love them.
Well, it's also like I don't know. I have like a love for comedy where I'm like I can see it in my siblings' eyes where they're like, is it still like the thing you want to do? I'm like, I will wait tables. I will hustle. I'll do whatever to be able to perform every night because there's nothing like, even when I do tell it on ants, I will headbutt everyone in the room. There's nothing like a live event.
And landing something,
Yeah, or bombing it. Even bombing, right? So in the moment, you're like, fuck, that sucked. Afterwards, you're like, and then the next day, you're like, yeah, but wasn't that better than like that one time I had to put data entry into a weird office job? Like, there's just something about, like, if you have that feeling inside of you, I'm like, it doesn't need to be like I remember being little and thinking like, oh, that guy, he's just a weird character on a TV show. Now we live in a world where we're like, fuck, dude, what's his name? Audition for this thing. It's great because you're like, yeah, any little thing is great. Like Pat fucking paid for his own special. That to me is a fucking amazing moment in life. It's like, why not? I don't know. You guys were, the last episode I was listening to you guys were talking about like somebody's, it's like a cover band. You're like, it was such a great epic moment. You're like,
yeah, Modern Bliss.
Modern Bliss, yeah.
Like,
Shut up, Modern Bliss.
What a better life we live now that we can actually be grown ass people that are like, yeah, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I don't care. Sure, did they not quote unquote write their own material or whatever? They fucking go on stage and they rock it. Like that to me, I'm like, what a better life to live.
Right. They went and did something.
Right.
That wasn't the mundane, like you said, just like the normal 9 to 5 that, you know, they went and tried something and accomplished something. And like that's.
And you still can do the 9 to 5.
Sure. Like, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
You can be a bookie and a cover band.
That's what I was.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yes. Fucking
my point of that is I'm like, I feel like even the old school stories of like Delco, I'm like, I think Delco, deep down, we've always been searching for, it's just like back then it was like, he was a loan shark. He was a bookie. Yeah. Now it's like, he can be a comic. He could be a fucking like front man to a band.
Whatever he puts his mind to.
Yeah.
Put your mind to
all that stuff.
Yes, thank you.
He can totally break equipment in, ruin the first 9 minutes of an episode.
Don't worry about that, HT.
But he still fights fire.
Yes, and he's fighting fire left and right.
It's not his fault. He didn't know we were coming over tonight. Oh, wait.
Shit.
How often do you do sets? Like, is it around here? Like, is there open mic nights every night of the week, 4 nights a week?
Yeah, every night of the week.
In Philly, probably.
There's some in there. There's definitely some in Delco. But yeah, I am in Philly a lot. Like, but I have a show in media once a month, and then I have a show once a month at craft beer store in Springfield.
Okay,
right on Baltimore Pike.
There's certain weeks.
Yeah,
feel free to please plug. Let people know where you're going to be.
Yeah. So like every first Friday, I'm at Sligo, except for Christmas time because it's like the upstairs.
Sligo and media, right?
And they're great. Nice. It's awesome.
That's a great.
And then the last Saturday of the month, me and my boyfriend and another guy, Keir Williams, have a show at a craft beer store in Springfield. So that's always like, so I'm at least like twice a month I'm in Delco. But then there's other ones. Spot,
Baltimore Pike. Now, new ownership in the last year or so. Did they continue from the old ownership, or is this since the new ownership?
So it's been like a year. Yeah, I guess you're right. But so there is a new owner. There used to be a show, and that guy kind of was bad. So it took us a while to kind of like take the stink off of that, because that guy, his name, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't. But
say his name.
Another name.
But his name was like a ridiculous name. It was like DJ something.
Yeah.
And it
now
was
I want to know so
bad.
bad.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the word haha or laughing out loud. Yeah, it's very easy to figure it out. Okay. But so it was just like a poorly run show because the guy was more a DJ than a comic. Mm-hmm. So it took us a little bit to like kind of have our own, like, oh no, these are different people doing it. And now we do it downstairs where they have like a game room and stuff. So it's better.
Couches and stuff downstairs? Or?
Yeah. But we like move it around for the show and stuff. But it's always great. But yeah, I mean, there's comedy every night in Philadelphia. Like you could, and like a lot of comics, like you could get up 2 or 3 times if you really hustle most nights. So to me, I'm like, I love it because it feels more like New York when I started.
Right. That was what you,
is that a dick
every day?
Is it a dick move though to be like to go up on an open mic and then to roll, to not watch other people because you want to be on different stages throughout the night?
I don't think it's a dick move, and I don't think in comedy it's a dick move.
I don't think so.
Maybe if there's enough, if there's enough people in the bar, maybe if they have a crowd, who would even know?
It can't be a dick move in comedy because I've heard that before. That you want to be on stage as much as possible.
So you'll roll to another set.
A little set. Hang out, have a beer.
Also, in music, you guys have a little bit more setup. So it's like it's a little bit more like you literally can roll up. And yes, there is like a level of, and again, I do sometimes walk into places that I'm like, hey, because like I'm the kind of person, if I'm booked on a show, but I know there's an open mic, I will try to go do an open mic, quickly go up, and then go to my show.
That's what's up.
So just get more reps in.
Yeah,
but I think the thing is, it's like, if you like enjoy it so much, and I do appreciate like live comedy, so like, and I like to book people, like I love like booking local people, so I'm like, I don't know, I'm probably a dick. Everyone hates me probably deep down, but
I love you. I just met you.
Know.
You're my favorite.
Rather than asking if it was a dick, I should have been like, it might be a little bit different in comedy.
No, but I do know what you mean, because I do think in music, I've dated a few musicians in my life, and it is a little different because it's
I apologize for that. It's all horrible.
They were nightmares,
brutal.
and a couple were from Delco, so definitely nightmares.
There's no positive. It's fun, but.
No, but why do you guys call it Hoagie Time?
Well, there's clearly a rap in front of me.
I mean, this has been here for like 45
Well,
years,
every episode we have a hoagie.
No, it's always fresh every week.
Yeah, every
we
week.
never talk about it.
Yeah, we
You just don't eat it either?
No, not usually.
That's it.
No,
So there's no like real reason except for that it's Hoagie Time.
It's Hoagie Time. Yeah, almost like a spin off of like Coffee Talk or like tea time or whatever. Hoagie Time, because
Hoagie Time. No, I love it.
we're,
It's kind
we're
of
overweight.
representative of the area.
Yeah,
Of course.
But we both just love that it just goes unspoken.
Yeah, but also that's not a Hoagie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a food review show or anything like that. Yeah.
We keep talking about we're going to go into it. Shout out San Gillo's. Oh, fuck. Shout
St.
out
Gillo's?
Farm Fresh.
Yeah. Farm Fresh, yeah.
I picked up a hoagie there last week, and they recognized me. Like, oh, Hoagie Time. I was like, yeah.
Wait, it's so funny. So I literally tell my boyfriend, "Oh, I'm going to be on Hoagie Time." I cooked dinner for my dad tonight, so I went.
And then he wept and was like, "We've made it, baby. You've done it."
He was
I'm
like,
so proud
we
of you, baby.
did it.
I'm so happy for you.
Oh my God.
No, but I go to Giant, and on my way to Giant, we were gonna make breakfast, and he's like, let's just get a hoagie from Sea Cane. Shout out Sea Cane. Have you ever had Italian hoagie from
Sea Cane
Sea Cane Pizza? Their pizza's awesome. I usually eat their pizza.
I don't
Their
like
French
French fries. I
fries.
don't like
Greek.
French fries
Yeah,
are
yeah.
great. I
French
don't
fries are
love
good.
Greek pizza.
Yeah.
But
Well, you've
my
always been
family-
racist against Greeks.
No. Not at all.
documented.
Always.
Well
Well, yeah, always.
No.
Yes.
Well
No, but it is
documented.
funny. Like my brother and I like love pizza, and he is like, you are the. I'm like I love
Pizza
Sea
snob?
Cane. I'm a pizza snob.
Yeah.
Sea Cane hogies are great.
gonna have
Their
to try that.
gyros are
Wow.
great. Literally, so he goes, "Oh, I got us a gyro and a sub," and I wrote back, "We're breaking up." You just called it a sub?
Yeah.
I'm going on Hoagie Time.
Biggest show of my life tonight. It's
I'm
called
going on the
Subtime.
biggest show of my life, and we're talking about a submarine. You can go suck my dick tonight. How about that,
Yeah.
Chance McDonald?
Not the name drop, but shout out Chance McDonald. Don't call it a sub, Chance. Come on,
No,
better than that.
But
pal.
it's funny that there was a rap, because I'm like, I do not like raps, and
That's a
Yeah.
rap?
no, I
Hoagie
no.
Time?
Freestyle.
Yeah, my boyfriend, Chance the rapper. I don't rap.
Okay.
That actually was a beautiful beat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, I'm
you
telling
guys
you.
really
Yeah,
talented.
thank you.
Do you guys want to sing for me?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
You gonna be funny for
can't
us while
really
you're here?
say.
Be funny. Be funny.
Fuck you.
Tell me about your album. Like you're doing this out. Like what's what
So I know
goes into
everyone,
that? What
like-
goes into that?
So I don't know. Hopefully I'm funny. No, but it's just it's a live event. Sell out Helium. Hopefully, definitely not there yet.
What's the date?
It's next Wednesday, the 28th. 29th. Sorry.
29th.
Okay, so
March
this coming out on
29.
Friday.
So yeah.
We will link for tickets, of course.
Perfect.
And I'm sure that the people out there listening are excited to support
Yeah.
my friend Peggy at her
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, I mean, also Helium is like not that far. I mean, as much as I know, Delco people do not like to leave Delco.
True.
Helium
Yes.
is the closer club.
Yeah.
I'm not taking you to go Fishtown at Punchline, which also is a great
76
place.
right off, boom. Like it's right
76.
there. Well, no, you got to go.
Collingdale.
I know.
Go through the fucking city. What are you talking
I'm
about?
sorry, no. Yes, we go
95.
Auto Mall, right?
Yes,
You're right. So you go to the Auto Mall through the Platte Bridge. Yeah, sorry.
291. Jeez.
Oh, I get in a lot of accidents. Like, honestly, I just passed there tonight, actually.
He gets in a lot of accidents.
Yes.
All right, somebody drive him. No, but
drive
yeah.
him.
So so Helium is producing it, and so yeah, it'll be an album that we'll do it live, and then they'll edit it, and they have like a connection with Sirius, so hopefully Sirius will take some of my jokes. I'm kind of dirty, so maybe not.
The dirty's in, don't you know?
Yeah.
Dirty's edgy. Edgy's in.
Edgy's in. Yeah. But no, yeah. So it's kind of like the compilation of the years of doing comedy, and like I always joke, like Peggy O'Leary on stage is still single, so I'm like, I can't wait to be able to just put those jokes to bed.
Yeah. How does your boyfriend feel about it? Do you still use that just because it's good material?
Yeah. I mean, also because that's comedy. It's
comedy.
like,
Is he a comic too? You mentioned he's
he
in
is
the
a
show.
comic. Yeah.
I don't know if maybe he was a bassist and he did a little solo.
Yeah, he does a
before he went
bass for it. No.
Good.
He,
Oh, wow.
he's
I'm just
comic.
happy a
He's
bass
on it
player
as well.
finally got a girlfriend.
out.
Yeah. Sorry. It's a bass joke. Sorry. Oh, no. It's just always been so easy for me. Sorry.
What a talent this guy is.
No, yeah. So it'll be fun. I hope if you are listening, please come, because my biggest fear is that the entire audience is just family. And I have to walk out and be like, coo.
Yeah.
Papa, I'm about to say pussy in front of you. So sorry.
Pop, cover your ears. I'm about to say pussy.
No, actually, my dad does not care. My dad,
Right. He
thinks
appreciates
it's hilarious.
the
It's my sisters. They're like, why did you say that? I'm like, probably because I was raised in this house. Like, I mean, it's not like I was saying anything weird.
And you had to discover your dad was cool with it. So there had to be a moment where you weren't sure where it was going to go.
I kind of always knew he'd be cool. Like, he was always kind of, well, also, I think in his mind, he was like, you were always a little weirdo.
Yeah, right. So we're just happy. Channel it. Yeah, exactly. Going to channel into something productive. But yeah, so that's incredible. We're going to have that out. And then Wednesday, March 29th.
Is that the date?
Helium.
Yes.
Yeah, what time?
8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
Awesome. So we're going to make sure, if you're listening, please go out. And we're gonna check out our friend Peggy
And if you're
O'Leary.
not listening to it that week, just buy the album when it comes out.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll put links up for that. Absolutely. Okay.
Is there anything else that we can plug? Your socials? We'd love to get some of our people to check you out.
So all my social media is Aunt Peggy O. So AUNT_Peggy O, because I'm an aunt of 14.
Oh,
and
yes. I'm an uncle of 10.
Look at us.
It's unbelievable.
Look at us.
The connection's unreal.
That's phenomenal.
And then just PeggyO'Leary.com. If you're in the city, come visit me in McGillen's. That's where I work.
You're there Monday nights?
No.
Not Monday nights.
Oh, not Monday nights.
During the day.
Okay. Okay.
Honestly, I should probably stop saying that, because I have a stalker who sends me stuff, which is what this is from. We didn't even get to go there.
You have a sweater and he sends you stuff and you wear it? You actually like wear it?
Would you not wear this?
That's incredible, actually. I would date the guy.
I've never had a stalker before.
I would date the guy.
I didn't know I did either. But yeah, he's been sending me stuff for a few years.
And let's
it's
explore this for a moment if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And you'll if it's
He's
good
actually a
enough, you'll wear
sweetheart,
it.
I think.
All of it's good.
Yeah.
Except for the underwear. I always give it to Goodwill.
Oh, Jesus
He
Christ.
sends me underwear.
His?
No, he sends me like
cute stuff.
like-
He's a nice guy.
No.
Look at that. That's
Here's
a
the thing,
beautiful
That's
sweatshirt.
what's so weird. So ready? So Chance is again Washington fan. So
The rest of this
last
will be
year for my
Patreon.
birthday, my boyfriend gets me an Eagles starter jacket. The next day I get 3 boxes of Eagles merch sent to a brewery in fucking Sterling, Virginia, where I had a
3 boxes?
Oh, I have I'll show. I'll send you the picture. You can post it. I have
Tommy's doing well.
over $1,000 worth of merch that this guy sent me. Wow. And I have no idea who it is. So whatever. We thought it was a funny joke. I talked about it on a couple podcasts, whatever. This year, got sent to McGillen's. And I was like,
He's getting closer.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows where.
Yes,
I
he's
live.
getting closer.
Like it's wild.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
we're going to say it's.
And then
sweet.
2
You
months
said
later-
wild.
How did this come up an hour in? This is the
Because
most.
I didn't even know we were having
This is
fun.
part two
I know
begins.
this is crazy. I know 'cause this is what I thought I was going to talk about.
Yes.
And then 2 months out. So then 2 months later, just recently, another box showed up, and this was in it. And literally, I mean, you can't deny. This is like, what am I? This is
great.
the greatest sweater that's
I
ever
would-
existed. I've
Was
worn
it
it.
like some pasta from Scaramuza's?
No,
And, like, he's getting even closer yet?
I would. I mean, dude, if he sent me gnocchis and scaramuzzis, I would.
He seems like an
Figure it.
unbelievable guy.
Provolone pie. What's the pizza place right
here's
there?
my thing.
Seminara's. Oh, Seminara's
Seminara's.
pie.
Seminaires. I love
No.
seminaires. Provolone.
Tano's.
Now it's open back up.
Definitely. Yo.
It is?
It open up new owners. Yeah.
Let's
New
be
owners.
serious. He's going to Google you and find this, and he's going to be writing down notes.
Well, he obviously has to.
We're
be.
dead.
Like,
We're
I
dead.
don't even.
We've gotten too close to her already. We're dead.
No, I mean.
Thank you.
But seriously, it is weird.
Big time, it's
I
weird.
really think it's
Little
we're
flattering,
gonna
though?
find
It's the
out.
weirdest thing ever, and you're wearing this sweater.
Yes. I mean, I don't think it's. Here's the thing. I've always thought it was funny.
It's hilarious.
I've always thought it was
is.
funny. It's very funny. Chance and like whenever I told it to other people, they're like,
Of course, you should be upset. If,
no, yeah.
I'd be like, this,
he was like, "What the fuck?"
are you doing?
But everybody, like, I think it's like Eagles fans and Delco people are like, "Whoa, you got a stalker? That's crazy." Everybody else is like, "Whoa."
And you're wearing his clothing.
Sweater's dope, though.
Yeah, you're wearing his clothing. Chance, I agree with you and feel you, but yeah, this is a Delco thing,
Shit
pal.
down for an air tag or
This is the
something on
Delco
it?
thing.
Like a tracking device?
I
I
even know
can't
how-
get over it.
Dude, the
There
might be-
return address
there might be
has always
ricin
been
in
silly
there.
things. Like the return address originally was like a Burger King that's not open anymore in like Trenton. Another one was like a
Oh,
Cherry
someone had to
Hill
stalk him back to
Mall.
learn that.
He's smart.
Interesting.
No,
No,
you know,
you, like,
and
you
he's
too.
smart. He's considerate. He's kind. He's smart.
Use
Might have a job.
He's surprising.
smart.
in a-
Yeah, he's
in a
surprising,
sexy
yeah.
way.
Yes.
Surprising.
I love this
Man.
man.
It could be a woman too.
Fuck, why don't I have?
Yeah, of course
I want
it
a
could.
stalker.
She's surprising in a sexy way.
Yeah, that's a
Incredible.
weird way to end it, but
Yes.
that is.
Well, Peggy, it was amazing
you guys
to
are the
talk to you.
best.
Yeah, this is great. Yes.
So fun.
I can't believe you're wearing that. Guys,
A stalker.
thanks for listening. We want to thank our good friend Peggy O'Leary for stopping by. Please support her. Check her out on her socials, and we're gonna link to this file. We're gonna link to her her special. She's taping her special at Helium this upcoming week. This upcoming Wednesday, her album at Helium this Wednesday. We're gonna link to tickets for that. Almost sold out. Be there.